hang on. Had a few days off streaming because I had a busy weekend. Had to work Saturday. Was only off yesterday, so did not want to post any content because I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty bagged. So we're gonna do 60 minutes and then we gotta hit the road to go to work. So, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that nice little steak dinner that I posted as well. So let's get our food first. As a YouTube short. Keeping it simple this morning, my wife made us eggs. She had an egg omelet. And I just got some egg on the plate. With some sriracha. I'll show you guys in a sec. And then, I gotta get going on studying. Oh. Espresso coffee right here. This is Colombia roast. Absolutely delicious. I'll show you guys. So here's the egg. 3 eggs, 3 whole eggs, an espresso coffee. This is breakfast. All ready for the day already. Brush teeth, cleanse face, like wash face, moisturize. I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling pretty flat last week, but I have some news. Our friends had they had twins end of July, and so we finally got to see them. Like we've seen them like once before this, but we got to see them and hang out with them and stuff, and it was such an incredible experience. Me and my wife just found out June 3rd that we're having a boy, a baby boy. So super cool, super stoked. Really grateful, feeling really blessed. Yeah, really excited for what's to come. So just wanted to say that. I'll probably do a post about it on the channel as well. Yeah. So I'll probably be talking a lot more about becoming a dad, how to stay fit as a dad, how to stay mentally resilient as a dad, all that kind of stuff. Later on, I'm navigating fatherhood. It'll be really cool. That's good. Quick breakfast. And I'll show you guys my studying. I have to memorize a lot of formulas, and then in behavioral finance chapter, it's emotional and cognitive biases, which is basically like emotional biases you can't change, you just have to adapt. And then Sebastian Gree, welcome live, thanks for tuning in. And then cognitive biases can be changed with education and being informed about a different strategy. So they're kind of like our emotional biases are kind of like our blind spots. One more investing. Almost there. I was feeling super flat last week, energy-wise. Don't know why. But I'm feeling much better and just trying to get to bed super early, like between 10 and 10:30 each night. Jessica Velasquez, welcome to live. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. Always need fuel. Hey Hamza, welcome back. Always need a little bit of fuel before I start studying, so everyone's different. Some people need to do straight caffeine. Some people need a big meal. I just need something to power me through. It's a lot of math. Okay. I'm gonna do just under an hour. Oh yeah. Yep. I'm literally just eating this. Already done, and then gonna have my creatine and OJ. Focus. And then I'm gonna start studying. About me. All right, so I only do a little bit of OJ because it is a lot of sugar. It's creatine, monohydrates, very gritty. Ready, mainly water. Boom, like that. Mostly water. Shake. Boom. So that's it, just a little bit. And then I pour in 2 scoops of creatine. Boom. Because it does. 1 scoop is for like your muscle, your endurance, your strength, increasing your strength. 2 scoops for the brain. All right, not there. Here, there. All right. Boom. It does make it very light. Not as bright, but whatever. Give it a swirl. It just dries out your throat. Okay. Like I said, very gritty. Oh, plain creatine water. Gotta have some juice or something in there. There we go. Time to have our coffee with our studying. Addison McQuaid, welcome live. Thanks for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button and that like button if you like streams like this. We're gonna study here. I'm just gonna go into the office. Boom. Putting this in the dishwasher. And then if we get stumped or anything like that during the course of our studies, we will get down and do 25 push-ups. I like doing that every time I hit like a mental block or anything. I'm new to this. Oh yeah, no worries. Yeah. I just let everyone know that's into streaming and stuff like that. Boom. Okay. So here's my little setup in here. We got Arnold Schwarzenegger right there. We got Michael Jordan doing one of his famous free throw line dunks right there. So this is where magic happens. But I don't know if I have to study in different locations throughout the house to really like help it absorb. So probably what we're gonna do, we're gonna bring this into the living room, chill on the cuddle chair. Got my Padfolio with all my notes. So we're gonna do that. So follow me. Yeah. So I'm gonna go like this. Because for some reason, yeah, like some days I can do it in the office, and other days I'm like, nah, I don't want to do it in the office. So I'm gonna study out here. Oh, and there's Pino the pup. Just having a little nappy nap. Here he is. He's a cockapoo. All right. Here we go. Okay, so formulas, laptop. Oh yeah, that's good. Good coffee. Okay. Alrighty then. Here's our Padfolio, like I said, and then laptop over here. Boom. So, before we even start, I'm gonna be. So these are literally 3 pages of formulas. Yeah. Mock exam stuff will be later, but I need to know formulas inside and out. Now I need to start memorizing other formulas. But we'll do one more round of formulas, which will take us 15 minutes or so. And, oh, yeah, that one too. Yeah. Yeah. Real rate of return, yeah. There. Doing some studying for finance and then gonna be going to work. All right, here we go. We've got, what is it today, 17th? I always like to write down and then I'll say formulas. Yeah, I'm gonna say cold. This is writing them cold from memory. Yeah, I'm taken, yeah. Married. Cold, right? Formulas. There we go. See, we got about 45 minutes. Here we go. So. I will log in, just so I'm logged into the. She just went to work. She's a dental hygienist. Boom. There we go. I scored 58 on this the first time I took it in mid-July. And I was so freaking close. I needed 60%. I got 58. So that's why I'm studying again. I took a couple weeks off after I didn't pass just because I needed to, just because of it was so much. But now I'm like, no, I want to pass. Okay. Bingo. Okay. Just get my online textbook open and everything. Why is it doing that? Oh, yeah, right. Hang on. There we go. Okay, got all the chapters ready. Now let's do our formulas. Okay, about 10 to 15 minutes of formulas. I'll keep an eye on and then I'll match them up with my other ones that are already filled out. I'm doing this from memory. These are the main formulas that are on the exam that will be asked a lot. And then I've been using the Meta AI to help me structure the studying, which has been really helpful too. There. Yep. There. Okay. All right. So. Yeah, so we got assets equal liabilities plus shareholders' equity. We got return on equity is profit divided by equity. We got debt to equity ratio, current debt plus long-term debt divided by equity. We got earnings per share, EPS ratio equals earnings per share divided by number of shares outstanding. Number of shares outstanding. Then we've got dividend yield. Dividend yield is annual dividend rate divided by current market price. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've already got 5 formulas written down. We got, yeah. Current ratio equals current assets divided by current liabilities. So that's current ratio, dividend yield, yeah, earnings per share, return on equity, PE ratio is equal Profit divided by, what was it again? Profit divided by current market price. That's PE ratio, and then quick ratio is current assets minus inventories. Quick ratio is current assets minus inventories divided by current liabilities. What do we got? I mean, again, I'm just writing this cold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice, 8. Okay. And then we'll do mutual fund gain or loss. Nice. Is, they call it ending net asset value per share minus beginning net asset value per share divided by ending net asset value per share times 100 is mutual fund gain loss. There. Yeah, 9 formulas written cold. There's a few more though. So we got dividend yield. That's how much dividends you make per share, per share of stock. That's what that ratio is for. Earnings per share ratio. Yeah, is how much earnings you're making per share of stock. Debt to equity ratio is how leveraged you are, if you can pay your bills or not. Bad batteries, I'll try to join the next stream. I see the stream. Yeah, sounds good, Hams. I appreciate it. Return on equity, that's how well dollars are, and like for every dollar earned, how well it's reinvested back into the company. Assets equal liabilities plus shareholders' equity. Profit, PE ratio. Profits to earning ratio, that's profit divided by current market price. Quick ratio. I'm trying to think what else. I think that's all of them. And then I'm gonna write down biases. Yeah, real quick. See if I remember that. Endowment. That's an emotional bias, I believe. Endowment means value what is already owned. And then status quo. Want to stay same. No change. So endowments, value what is already owned. Status quo wants to stay the same. What would be another one? What would be another one? Availability bias. Hindsight's another one. Hindsight is hindsight is like imbalanced. Imbalanced. Status quo wants to stay same. Endowment value what is already owned. Hindsight is imbalanced. It doesn't make much sense. And what's the other one? I'm blanking. All right, let's see how we did. Matching them up with these other written formulas. I don't think I missed anything there. Yeah, assets equal liabilities plus shareholders' equity. Yeah, return on equity, how well profits are being utilized or reinvested. Yeah, debt to equity. Current debt plus long-term debt divided by equity. Yeah. Earnings per share ratio. Profit. Oh, I did it wrong again. No. Profit divided by number of shares outstanding. Dividend yield, annual dividend rate divided by current market price as the dividend per share. Current ratio, current assets divided by current liabilities. PE ratio, profit divided by current market price. Current market price divided by earnings per share. Damn it. Okay, that one wrong as well. I keep mixing up earnings per share ratio and PE ratio. So it's current market price divided by earnings per share. Per share. Okay. Quick ratio. So it's profit divided by number of shares outstanding. Yeah. Profit divided by number of shares outstanding is earnings per share ratio, PE ratio, current market price divided by earnings per share. Okay. Star that. Ending net asset value minus beginning net asset value divided by ending net asset value per share times 100. Mutual fund gain or loss, yep. Now, what else did I have in there? Dividend yield, yeah. Okay, so I have all those. Yeah. Status quo, do not want to change, stay the same. Endowment, value what is already owned. Yeah. So status quo, I think is an emotional bias. Yeah. Hindsight, imbalance, overestimate. Yeah. Okay, so I did get those ones. But I got to memorize those ones even more. So now I got to do a quiz. It's 8. So I'm getting it. Now. Okay. Yeah. So I got to keep memorizing more of those formulas. Okay. So let's go like this. Put this on the ground. Boom. There. Hedged profit divided by current market price. Yep. And it was per share divided by, oh sorry, it was current market price divided by earnings per share. Yeah. Current, so it was price divided by earnings per share. All right. Yeah. Profit divided by price flipped. Okay. Profit divided by price flipped. Earnings per share. Yeah. Circular. Correct plus story. Yeah. Earnings per share ratio, profit divided by number of shares outstanding. Profit divided by shares. Yeah, profit divided by shares. Profit divided by shares is earnings per share ratio. Profit divided by shares. And then PE ratio, profit divided by price. PE ratio and profit divided by price. Profit divided by price flipped. PE ratio, profit divided by price flipped. Yeah. Current market price divided by earnings per share. Price divided by profit. Yeah. Price divided by earnings per share. Price divided by earnings per share. Or price divided by profit. Yeah. So never leak again, write this now. Earnings per share is earnings per share divided by shares. Circular, that's why I blanked. Yeah. Earnings per share is profit divided by number of shares. And PE ratio, price divided by earnings per share. It's always price divided by earnings. Earnings per share, profit divided by shares. Okay. How much profit for one share I own? Net income divided by weighted average per share is earnings per share. Earnings per share, profit up top, shares down low. Yeah. How much profit for one share I own is earnings per share. Newspaper. Test. Price is big number on top always. Yeah. Profit per share is how expensive is $1 profit. P/E ratio, price divided by earnings per share. Yeah, divided by earnings per share. So price up top, earnings per share down low. Price top, earnings down low. And then earnings per share. Yeah. Profit divided by shares. Price is big number on top always. Yeah, profit up top, shares down low. Profit up top. Profit top. Profit up top, shares down low. And that is profit up top, shares down low. How expensive is $1 profit? Expensive $1 profit. Okay. How expensive is $1 profit? And then price top, earnings down low for P/E ratio. Price per earnings is how expensive is $1 profit? That is P/E ratio. How much profit for one share I own? And then all right, and then done. Write that 3 times in 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay. I'll work on that real quick again. Earnings per share equals profit divided by number of shares. Divided by shares. P/E ratio. Price divided by earnings per share. Yep. Earnings. Earnings per share. Yep. Price divided by earnings per share. Yep. There. So earnings per share equals profit divided by shares. And then P/E ratio equals price divided by earnings per share. Okay. Leave it there. Yep. Only do P/E and earnings per share questions. Scan for P/E. Yeah. Okay. I knew it. Okay, yeah. Okay. Hindsight, overestimated balance. So hindsight is I knew it all along. I knew it. Yeah. Even after event, you think you predicted a trigger. I knew it would crash after it crashed. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go back to those again. All right. Biases. And 15 only questions of endowment statistical hindsight. Okay. So we have 15 minutes, Mindset Fam. Let's go back to this. Overconfidence. Yeah. Watch the price of the stock fall and he took a large loss. He indicated to his friend that he knew all along. Yeah, the price was going to take a large downturn. So he knew all along. Hindsight. Yeah. Which would be excluded from a list of cognitive biases? Overconfidence, representativeness, availability, loss aversion. Loss aversion is emotional. I want to avoid losses. Watches a lot of sports on television. He has seen many advertisements for MLN or LMN, Canadian mutual funds. When meeting with his financial advisor, he chose as his preferred investment because he knows the name. Availability. He's seen it repeatedly several times, so it's availability bias. Allows people to estimate the probability of an outcome based on how prevalent or familiar. Yeah, so cognitive bias can be described as a processing error. Yeah. Which describes the January effect. Lowest month of profitability, stock market trading volumes in January tend to be lowest. Stocks in general move higher in January. Yeah. What do standard theories of finance assume? Investors are risk averse. Yeah. Standard theories of finance assume that investors are risk averse and rational in their decision making abilities. Only got a couple more questions and then we'll do another quiz after this. Practicing behavioral finance, like cognitive and emotional biases. Jen inherited 10,000 stocks from her grandmother. She has decided to always retain the same investments. Which behavioral bias has she demonstrated? So she wants to keep them, but she doesn't want to do anything. Status quo. Stay the same. Which behavioral biases would motivate an investor to retain an investment that is performing poorly? Yeah. So regret aversion, you don't want to do so. You don't want to do something that might a decision you might regret, and then endowment is you put more value and emphasis on what you already own versus what you don't own yet. Regret aversion and endowment. Yeah. Last question in this quiz. Investors may be better served by adjusting risk and return levels depending upon their behavioral tendencies. Which term explains this approach to asset allocation? Best practical allocation. Yeah. Maybe better served by adjusting risk and return levels depending on their behavioral tendencies. This is called client's best practical allocation. Practical allocation may slightly underperform over the long term and have lower risk, but it is an allocation that the client can comfortably adhere to over the long run. There. Nice. Okay. We've got 10 more minutes. So we'll get out of here. Biases you named. Right, and then we'll do this one. What chapter is that? Is this one? I think it's this chapter. 10 more minutes, and then we're going to do 45 minutes after work as well. So I'm trying to do 45 minutes to an hour chunks for studying. If I do any more than that, it's too much. If I do any less than that, it's not enough. So that way it's not overkill, but it helps everything sink in. And I always start with rewriting formulas. Percentage gain or loss based on the following details. Yep. Beginning net asset value. Yeah. So, yeah. So ending net asset value. Minus beginning net asset value divided by beginning net asset value. No, hang on. 1840. 17.6 minus 18.4. 17.6 minus 18.4. Yep. Yep. And then divided by beginning net asset value. 18.4 times 100 minus the 4.35. Stocks from risk reward, which statement is true? The higher the Sharpe ratio, the more desirable the investment. The stock with this. Yeah. Which index? If you want to assess large S&P TSX index. Yeah. Which generally gives an investor a point of reference for value mutual fund performance benchmark. Yeah. Okay. I didn't have any formulas in it. Damn it. Let's see if the next one does. Okay. No. Is it here? Right. Okay, so I need to, yeah. Okay. So we'll leave it there, Mindset Fam. We will leave it there. I'm going to find this one. Yeah, Papa. Mm-hmm. Yeah, trying to find the question that represents the goods, yeah, as bought, but for which payment has not been made. The reporting of net income or loss in a company's financial statement. Most recent year is determined by a statement of comprehensive income and then transferred to the statement of changes in equity. Company's most recent year is determined by this, and then transferred to the statement of financial position. Yeah. Excuse me. Identify the type of ratio that the price of earnings ratio is categorized value. Current ratio. Current assets divided by current liabilities. Choose what declining trend in the return on common equity. It means operating efficiency is decreasing. Yeah. Calculate the year 2 trend ratio of the company's current ratio. So his base year. Yeah. Calculate the year 2 trend ratio of a company's current ratio is 1.10. So yeah, so base year. So 1.1 divided by 2. Yeah. So base year divided by following year. I get that. So base year divided by that times 2. Yeah, I know. Oh. Dividing into a comparable 2.2 divided by, yeah. Okay. So I'll work on that. Financial ratios. It's right there. Financial statements. Yeah. Okay. Let's leave it there. Mindset fam. Leave it there. All right. Yo. Had a long weekend and now I'm back working for the machine and the man. Oh man. Yeah, I hear you, man. I had to work on Saturday and yeah, and then only had yesterday off, so kind of sucked balls, but just doing some studying now. So I gotta go to work now. Gotta take out the dog. He's just sleeping over there. Yep. Just did basically an hour, just under an hour. So maybe happy, maybe healthy, maybe at peace. Peace, mindset fam. See Justin at lunchtime for lunch with me. Probably gonna have chili for lunch today. And yeah. So have a fantastic day. And see y'all at lunchtime.